I just had my fourth kid, and I think I've discovered the secret to having a big family. And it is simple, and it is this. You never, under any circumstances, decide if you want to have more kids when you're in the middle of raising toddlers. That is a disastrous proposition that is always going to end up with a no, because it's hard. You have to decide before you ever have any kids what you want your life to look like when you're 65 years old at Christmas, and work backwards from there. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to have your first kid, and everybody's going to be excited, and you're going to go to the hospital, and the hospital is going to tell you to go home. And you're going to look at your wife and say, they're going to let us take this kid home? We don't know anything about parenting. How are we going to keep this kid alive? And they're going to send the kid home with you anyway. And then 2 months later, you're going to say, I haven't slept in 2 months. I'm spending a ton of money on diapers and clothes and everything else that goes along with having children. My wife isn't allowed to sleep with me because she's healing for at least 6 to 8 weeks. You have no free time at all, and it's hard. And you're going to think, I don't want to do this anymore. And then things are going to settle down a little bit. It's going to get a little bit easier. And then you're going to think to yourself, I don't want to have an only child. Only children have a propensity to be self-centered. And also, I don't have time to entertain them all the time. And so they need a playmate. So let's have another kid. Then the exact same thing's going to happen. And then you're going to have 2, and you're going to say, that's plenty. And that's why most people stop at having 2 kids. But not you, because you will have decided beforehand how many children you want. It's like what my dad always used to tell me. I actually think about this all the time. When I was training to play football, and I was just a kid, I was in 7th and 8th grade, he would take me to the weight room every morning at 5:30 in the morning. And of course, I would never want to wake up and go to the weight room because I was tired. And so he would say, listen, you lay your clothes out the night before. You know you want to be a good football player. In order to do that, you got to get strong. And so decide the night before, wake up in the morning, put your clothes on, and go. You don't think about it when you're in the thick of it. That's miserable. Don't make any decisions when you're tired. And we did that, and it worked pretty well. I think the same thing is true about kids. What do you want your life to look like? Do you want to have 4, 5, 6 kids? My wife wants 4, I want 6. I think we'll probably compromise and have 6. That's my plan. Because I want my life to be a lot of fun when I'm 70 years old. And at Christmas, they've all got 4 or 5 kids because they grew up in a big family. Instead of having one kid who you might misparent a little bit because you don't know what you're doing and you only have one kid. And maybe they'll end up with purple hair backpacking through Europe and you'll never get to see them, and that would suck. So moral of the story is this. Decide how many kids you want before you ever have kids, and put your head down and go for it, because kids are awesome and it'll be worth it.